This is the area of composite figures. Okay? Please write down everything that I write down. And if you have any questions, ask them on Google Classroom. Chapter 8, Lesson 5, Area of Composite Figures. We've talked about area, we found area of circles, and now we're just going to put everything together. So it's going to get a little confusing, but if you take one figure at a time and then add it together, it's really not that difficult. But you do have to remember these formulas. Okay, they'll be on your, we'll take them in notes, so you need your notes for your homework. They're also on the reference sheet for your math STAR test. They will be on the reference sheet. But a parallelogram, it's the product of any base and we're going to use B for base and its height. And we're going to use H for height. So area equals B times H of a parallelogram. A triangle is half the product of any base and its height. So the triangle would be A equals 1/2 B times H, or B times H divided by 2. Trapezoid is half the product of the heights and sum of the two bases. So area for a trapezoid is area equals 1/2 height, base 1 plus base 2. Circle is what we just went over. Pi times the square of the radius, which we just covered. So area equals pi r squared. Okay, we're going to go over some of the shapes that you'll be seeing on your homework. So we're going to name the shapes. Okay, so this right here would be a parallelogram. This one's a rectangle. And this one is the quarter circle. Okay, it's important that you know what your figures are, and then you have to know which formula to use. Now let's look at this one. If we were to find the area of this, we would take the formula and put it in each of that figures with their information of their measurements, but we're not going to do that. This was just a practice naming your shapes. On number 2, let's look at number 2. It's a triangle. Okay, hope everyone knows that one. And then this one right here is going to be a trapezoid. Okay, so determine the composite figure of number 2 using the formulas at the top. So this composite figure is when more than one figure makes the whole. So when you're looking at a figure and you're thinking, oh my goodness, How can I find that? Try to find the different shapes that you can make. Okay, so this one would be a triangle and a trapezoid. So the triangle formula, the triangle up here, would be 1/2 base times height. Okay, and then you're going to use the trapezoid. I'm going to put trap over here. So it's your triangle plus your trapezoid. Okay, so this is going to be 1/2 height base 1 plus base 2. And then that's how we're going to find the area of the composite figure. So for my triangle here, remember your height. You've got to look at to where your right angle is. That will let you know where your height is. Height will always have your right angle. Okay, so my height is 10 and my base of the triangle is 4. So 10 times 4, and then you can multiply it by 0.5 or by 1/2, or you can divide it by 2. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay, so 10 times 4 is 40, and then if I multiply that by 0.5 or divide it by 2, you're going to get 20. And all this we still have to add to the trapezoid. So the trapezoid is 1/2 the height of the trapezoid. Again, here's my height. Okay? It's always going to have your right angle at it. That will let you know where your height is. So your height is 5, and then your base 1 would be here. I can label it 1 and base 2. Or this can be base 1 and that can be base 2. It really doesn't matter. So base 1 and base 2, we're going to add together. So 4 plus 12 would be 16. And we're going to multiply all this across. So it's got 1/2 times 80. And half of 80 is 40. Okay, I'm just taking the formulas that belong to the shapes and adding them together. You will need to do all this work on notebook paper when we get to your homework problems. So 20 plus 40 would be 60 yards squared is what your answer would be. So please keep these notes out so you can determine which figure and what formula you will use. And all we're doing is taking the formula of one figure and adding it to the others to get the area of a composite figure. So again, take a piece of notebook paper because you are going to need it. And let's look at your homework. We're going to do 1 through 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 9. 10 is bonus. And then you're going to do 3 on the back. 4, 5, 6. Okay? So let's look at number 1. Let's find out what the two shapes are, and we're going to add them together. So we have a rectangle. Okay, didn't trace it very well. There's a rectangle, and here's your trapezoid. And then we're going to add those two together. So it's the trapezoid's on top. Let's just go with trapezoid. Okay, so if you look back at your notes, you'll see that your trapezoid is 1/2 height times base 1 plus base 2. Okay, I want you to write your formulas out. So 1/2 height times base 1 plus base 2. Now then, let's fill in the information. 1/2 and our height. Now this one's going to get a little tricky. We have to determine the height. I know the height from here to here is 8. But I need to know, what is this height? Okay, so if you look over here, the height from here is 5. So to make 8, 5 plus 3 would be 8. So the bottom of this is 5. The top of the height is 3. Don't let that fool you. So to fill in my height would be 3. My base 1 would be either 18 or 12. It doesn't matter which one you put first. They're both of your bases. And there's your formula for the trapezoid. So 1/2, 3 times, and then 12 plus 18 would be 30. 1/2 of 3 times 30 would be 90. And put your answer right here. Now let's do the rectangle. Okay, rectangle's pretty easy. The area of here is going to be base times height. Well, we have a base of 18, because it says right here this is 18, and again my height is 5. So 18 times 5 would be 90. So whatever you found over here, you're going to add to 90 to get your answer. And it's going to be miles squared. Let's look at number 2. Okay, I see a triangle right here. So let's do triangle. The formula for your triangle is area equals 1/2 base times height. And the other one would be another trapezoid. Trapezoid would be the area equals 1/2 height times base 1 plus base 2. So now all we need to do is fill in the information. So the 1/2 of your base and your height, your base of your triangle is going to be right here, and it says it's 1.1. And the height, here's my right angle, so my height is 4.8. Okay, so if you multiply that together, you need to show your multiplication, but you can check your answers with mine. You still have to show your work. And you can finish this. Now you can take 1/2 of it by dividing 2, by multiplying by 1/2, or multiplying by 0.5. Okay, I like to divide by 2. That's up to you. So your answer goes there. Then you're going to have to add it to this answer to get your total composite figure. So let's look over here at your trapezoid. Okay, trapezoid, your base is going to be, now then we're going to have to turn it a little bit to do your bases here, because this is your trapezoid right here. Parallel lines are on top, those are your bases. Okay, your trapezoid is right here. Base 1, base 2, or base 1, base 2. These are your bases. This is your height right here. That's your height. Bases are parallel. Okay, so now then let's look at it and fill out your formula. So 1/2 of the trapezoid. Remember, the trapezoid, your height is 5.9. Okay, your height was 5.9. Your bases were 4.8 plus 3.6. Okay, so if you add those together, 5.9 plus 3.6 is 7. 7 plus 3.6 is 9. 9 plus 3.6 is 7. 7 plus 3.6 is 9. 9 plus 3.6 is 7. 7 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 plus 3. believe you should get 8.4. Then you're going to have to multiply that by 5.9. Remember, always let me know if I make a mistake. And then I'm going to divide by 2 at the end. So your answer for your trapezoid goes here, triangle goes here, add them together to get your total composite. And it will be in centimeters squared. Okay, let's look at number 3. I see a semicircle and a triangle. So I want to find my semicircle, which we just went over those. And for the circle, remember, was pi r squared. And since it's only a half of a circle, I'm going to divide by 2. Because it's only half of a circle. So I'm going to fill it in as 3.14. And my radius, and the radius they said right here is 5 squared. Okay. And then my next figure is a triangle. And if it helps you to outline them in different colors so you can see the figures better, do that. So my triangle is going to be 1/2 base times height. So my base, if this side of my radius is 5, my diameter would be 10. The base of my triangle is 10. Your height is 4. And remember, you need to take half of that. So 10 times 4 is 40. And then I'm going to take half of it. And that's going to give you 20. So you take the area of your semicircle, okay, plus the area of your triangle, which we found that to be 20. And then you'll get your total composite figure, and it would be feet squared. Now, again, remember, it says round to the nearest tenth. Okay? This one you need to round to the nearest tenth, I believe. Number 2 you would round, and number 3 you would round to the nearest tenth. Or maybe you don't round, but you need to look at that. Okay? One you will, one you won't. But your answer should be no more than a tenth. Okay, let's look at number 4 and see what figures you can see. I see a triangle and a square. I mean a rectangle. Triangle and a rectangle. So, for number 4, let's write down the formulas. I'm going to do length times width for my rectangle plus my triangle, which would be base times height divided by 2. Because remember, it's half base times height. 1/2 times base times height. And this is just the way I like to work it. Remember, there's several different ways. You can do a decimal, you can do a fraction, whatever. So fill in your information. So my length would be 20, and the height of this one will be 6. Now then, don't let this one fool you again. I do not know what this measurement is. I know the measurement of the whole line is 20. But this is 8 and this is 6. So you need to subtract that. If this part is 8 and this part is 6, what is the middle part? So you subtract 8 from 20 and then subtract 6, and you'll figure that this is 6. And then what is your height? Because if you look, this height is going all the way to the top. All the way. And it's telling you your height is 10, but that's of the whole composite figure. From here to here is only 6. So what does that mean the top part is? If the whole height is 10, but from here to here is 6, I need to subtract 6 from 10. And you'll figure that your height here is 4. It's not hard, you just got to analyze the figure. Okay, so let's do base times height, which would be 6 times 4 divided by 2. Okay, so this answer plus this answer equals your total. And it's going to be miles squared or meters squared. No rounding necessary. Number 5. I see a square and I see a circle because here is a semicircle and here is a semicircle. If I have two semicircles, it makes a circle. And then I see a rectangle. Okay. So let's do the rectangle. Would be length times width. So 8 times 9 plus my semicircle, or my circle, because there's two semicircles. So I just need the formula for a circle, which would be pi r squared. Okay, so 3.14. What is my radius of this circle? If from here to here is 8, that would be your diameter. What's just half of that? Your radius would be 4. Okay. So again, this plus this equals your total, and it would be yards squared. Number 6. I would do it this way to have two figures. So the big one would be length times width plus length times width. Oops. Okay, so I would need to see how much, well, we know from here to here is 9, and we know from here to here is 12. So subtract 9 from 12, and this part would be 3. And if I know from here to here is 4, so here to here is 4, what's from here to here? It's also 3. So 3 times 3 plus 12 times 4. And your answer would be in inches squared. Number 9 is going to be 2 trapezoids. Okay, you got 2 trapezoids. So on number 9, I'm running out of time, guys, sorry. You have 1/2 up height times base 1 plus base 2. And you need to double it because you've got two figures here. Okay, so it would be 5 plus 11. The height would be 4 divided by 2. Okay, but remember there are 2 of them. So in the end you're going to end up multiplying by 2 to get your answers, and it would be meters squared. Whoops, sorry. So number 10 is bonus. And number 4, okay, I'm just going to tell you, all of these are, this is a trapezoid, and this is a parallelogram. Okay. All of these are parallelograms. So this one would be base times height, base times height, base times height. This one is very much similar to the one we did on the front. So this one right here on number 4 would be 1/2, height times B1 plus B2. Don't forget your height in there. And these are your trapezoids, base times height plus base times height, because you have 2 of them. Okay? Sorry I ran out of time. And don't forget, 10's bonus. So 1 through 6, 9, and then 4, 5, and 6. If you have questions, ask them on Google Classroom. Thanks.